Hi, welcome to today's video. Today I'd like to share with you my May TBR. I feel like you know how these videos go, so I'm not going to give you much of an intro. Let's just get into the books I'd like to read this month. Starting off with Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. I'm currently rereading the Shadow and Bone series. I'm up to Siege and Storm. I'd like to reread it. I read the series a few years ago and I don't remember a lot of the details of this book. I listened to the audiobook of it very quickly while I was working years ago, so most of it didn't stick, but I'm very excited to get to it. Similarly, I'd like to read Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. This book I remember next to nothing about. Before season 2 of Shadow and Bone came out, I was talking to a friend about the books, about the series, and I was realizing I don't remember what happens in this book. In fact, I don't remember what is meant to be like one of the biggest plot points of this book. I don't remember how that turns out. So, yeah, I need to reread this book and remind myself of the details. I have watched the show since, and that kind of jogged my memory on a lot of things, but I think there are a lot of little parts of this book that deserve appreciation. The next two books I don't have physical copies of, so I'll put the covers on the screen, but that is King of Scars and Rule of Wolves, also by Leigh Bardugo. If you can't tell, I'm on a bit of a Leigh Bardugo kick. If you haven't been on my channel before, I've talked a lot about Six of Crows lately. I love Leigh Bardugo, I love the world that she created, and I want to read the rest of it. I've never read King of Scars or Rule of Wolves, which is why I'm doing my Shadow and Bone reread so that I can get to these books. I'm very excited. I've heard good things, I've heard a few spoilers, but overall I'm just quite excited. The next book I'd like to read this month is one that I'm honestly a little bit ashamed that I haven't read yet, and that is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I think this has been on like 3 or 4 of my previous TBRs. I love the Hunger Games series. It was my entire personality for years. I was the Hunger Games girl at my school, and I was so excited when a prequel was announced and released, and I bought it day of and just never read it. And now the movie is coming out. The trailer actually came out this morning. I'm excited, but I'm nervous. I know what happens in this book. I have watched reviews, heard people talking about it. I'm not going to be shocked by anything, but as someone who loves this world and the stories that happen, I guess, later in this world, bookmark, hello, I'm intrigued to like kind of learn the intricacies of it, learn more about President Snow before he was President Snow. I just hope that this book doesn't try to make him seem like a good guy or try and explain away his actions, because he is just like straight up like a villain, but you know. Next up is another book that I bought the day it was released and just still haven't read, and that is I Kissed Sharawilla by Casey McQuiston. This has also been on a number of my TBRs. I've loved Casey McQuiston's 2 other books, but I'm weirdly nervous about this one. I think I'm a little bit hesitant because I haven't been reading like YA contemporary or like romance lately, but I love the way Casey McQuiston writes, so I want to give this a go. I don't really know much about this story, anything really. I know that it's sapphic and that's about it, and that's all I need to know, so yeah. The last book that I'd like to read this month is Legends and Lattes. This is on my TBR basically every month. I want to read this book so badly, but learning a new fantasy world and system takes a lot of energy from me, so I'm a bit nervous. I've only heard good things about this book. It is cozy fantasy, which sounds absolutely wonderful. I'm just a little bit nervous that I'm not going to be able to give this book what I need to get the most out of it, if that makes any sense. I think that a lot of the time, if you're in the wrong kind of headspace to read something, it can fall flat even though it's a really good book, or at least that's my experience. There are some books that I'll read and not like just because of where I'm at personally, and I'll go back to them years later and realize that it's like one of the best books I've ever read. So I just want to read this book when it feels right, which will hopefully be this month. So there we are. 7 books that I'd like to read this month. If you know me reading 7 books is laughable, it's not going to happen, but these are the books I would like to get to. I just did a readathon, which has really put me in the mood to read again, which is good because I went like a month without reading anything and I felt like I completely lost the ability to sit and read, but I think I'm back. So yes, that is my TBR for the month. Have you read any of these books? Do you like them? Let me know. What are you reading in May? Is there anything you think I should be reading? Let me know. But that's all I've got for today. You can give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. You can subscribe. I upload twice a week, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, welcome to today's video. Tinsel. Oi, you need to stop that now. Stop it. Or I'll kick you out. Okay, kicking you out is what's gonna happen. Not the time. I know, not the time. I love the Hunger Games series. Oh, my bookmark is in here. Why, please, help yourself. Battery died. Woo!